Hey there everyone, it's Dr. Joe here. The next videos in our series are about understanding how the personality of our kids develops. The reason this is important is when we understand what makes them tick, what makes their personality be a certain way, we are much better able to relate to them. We're better able to empathize with them. And we're better able to see the world through their eyes, which means we can guide their decisions better. There are many things that impact the personality that our kids have and that we have. And among these factors are DNA, for instance, the way we were raised, the parenting approach in the house, the values and beliefs that we have, the wider family, the friends who have an impact on us. All of that impacts the personality that our kids have. And that's not all. There is one important piece missing. And we notice this piece most profoundly when we observe multiple kids in the same family. If we have more than one child, we notice very quickly that our kids turn out to be very, very different. And they're different although the context in which they were raised, the circumstances, everything that they seem to have experienced is so similar. And we wonder, how is that possible? That kids who have experienced so similar pasts and upbringings, how can they be so different? And the answer for that is this one important factor, and that is the birth order. Where do they come up in the family constellation? Are they a firstborn? Are they a middleborn? Are they a lastborn? Or are they an only child? That plays a key role in their personality development. And the way you have to imagine this working is that each child has a sense of wanting to belong. They want to belong, they want to be connected, and they want to be significant in the family. And they need to find that significance. Now, when the first child comes along, that child has a certain way of belonging to the family. They relate to the parents in a certain way. And once they take that role is taken. And the second child that comes along quickly discovers the first way of operating in this family, of belonging to the parents, of being significant, is taken. It's gone. And the second child has to find a different way of relating, has to find a new way of finding their significance in that family. And each child after that makes the same experience. The previous slots, they're gone. So that's why the children turn out to be so different, why number 1, 2, and 3 end up having very different personality styles. Now, it's not just that. What we also find is that there are common patterns to that. There are typical traits that firstborns have in common, that middleborns have in common, and that the lastborns have in common, and only children as well. And it's fascinating to understand those, and it's helpful for the parents. Because once we understand those traits, we can really help our children as best as we can, as best as it's appropriate for that particular birth order position that they have. It means we can nurture their desire to belong based on their particular birth order style. We can also help them steer clear of the pitfalls that are associated with their particular birth order position. So we can help them as best as we can and as is most appropriate for their particular personality style. That's why these birth orders are so important. In the next videos, we'll be talking about what makes each birth order position unique, what describes them, what we need to watch out for as a parent, and how we can help our children best based on that birth order position. Before we get to that, I'd like you to observe these traits. Pay attention to them over the next days. So pay attention to the firstborns, for instance, that you have in your neighborhood, and try and see what your firstborn might have in common with the firstborn of the neighbors. You might find out, and that's not untypical, that the firstborns in the area have much more in common with each other than the kids of your family. That might be puzzling, but that's not unusual, because these traits that belong to the birth order, they are really very strong, and we can observe them easily in multiple families. So pay attention to that in the families in your neighborhood, among your friends, and see what your kids share in common across families, and also pay attention to yourself. If you're an only child, watch out for other only children and what the traits might be that you all have in common. We'll talk more about these styles in the next videos. For now, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you again in the next videos.